Welcome. I'm really glad you are here. There's a quote that says, "Truth is like a diamond with many facets." And at first it sounds simple. But if you sit with it, the story begins to change. Take a slow breath in through your nose. Feel the cool air fill your lungs. Gently breathe out through your mouth. Let your body settle. When we think about a truth, we often imagine it as something fixed. One version, one answer, one clear definition of what really happened. But a diamond doesn't have just one surface. It has many. And each facet reflects the light in its own way. In the same way, truth can be experienced differently depending on where you're standing. Two people can live the same moment and walk away with completely different understandings. Not because one is right and the other is wrong, but because each is seeing a different facet. But there's another layer that's easy to miss. A diamond isn't just multifaceted. It's also shaped over time, under pressure. And truth in our lives often works the same way. What feels true in one moment may feel different later. You gain distance. You gain awareness. You see something you couldn't see in the moment. But here's where it gets even more human. Over time, something interesting happens inside us. We begin to forget the details, what was said, the sequence of events. But the emotions can stay. The feeling lingers longer than the story. And when that happens, the mind tries to make sense of it. It reaches for meaning. And sometimes, it creates a version of truth based only on what remains. This is where things can become a little unclear, because emotions are real, but they are not always the full picture. They are only one facet of the diamond. So if a feeling lingers without context, it can quietly shape beliefs. Not because those are the full truth, but because that's the only facet still visible. And this is where awareness becomes powerful. Not to dismiss what you felt, but to gently expand the space around it. To say, this feeling came from something real, and there may be more to the truth than just this. You don't have to force clarity. You don't have to reconstruct every detail. But you can soften the certainty of conclusions that were built on incomplete information. Now, imagine you're standing in a quiet, open space, somewhere that feels calm and safe to you. The air is still. In front of you, resting on the ground, is a diamond. Not perfectly polished, not perfectly clear, just as it is. It catches the light in a soft, quiet way. You take a few slow steps toward it. And as you get closer, you notice something. Each facet reflects something different. On one side, there are faint images, moments, fragments, pieces of memories. Some are clear and others are blurred, like they've softened with time. You don't need to force them into focus. Just notice. Now, pick up the diamond, and as it turns slightly, you begin to see something else. Not images, but feelings, colors moving through the surface. Warm gold, soft blue, maybe shadows of heavier tones. These are the emotions that stayed. Even when the details faded, these remained. There's no need to judge what you feel, No need to explain it. This is simply what your system carried forward. Now, gently turn the diamond in your hands. Watch the light and colors change. As it shifts, a new facet catches the light. And this one feels different. It's not the past, it's perspective. You see how things may have looked from another angle, another person, another moment in time. Not to invalidate what you felt, but to expand the space around it. Let yourself stay here for a moment. Reflect on both the feeling that remained and the possibility that there is more to the story. Now, imagine placing your hands softly over the diamond. And as you do, a warm, steady light begins to form beneath your hand. This light isn't coming from the past. It's coming from you. The diamond begins to glow a little brighter in your hand. Not because it's changing, but because you are now part of how it's seen. Take a slow breath in. Feel the weight of it in your hand. And as you breathe out, gently place it on the ground and step back. Let the diamond remain where it is. You don't need to carry it. And when you're ready, bring your awareness back to your breath, to this moment. So maybe truth is like a diamond, but we don't always see all of its facets at once. Sometimes we only see the part that hurt. Sometimes we only carry the emotional imprint. Sometimes we only understand it years later. And all of that is part of being human. You don't need to remember everything perfectly to move forward with clarity. You don't need to hold on to every detail to understand your life. You are allowed to let understanding unfold. There is more to your story than any single moment. More to your truth than any single feeling. And over time, you may just begin to see more of the diamond.